Hi, and welcome to Miss Sommer's sixth grade Earth Science class. I'll start by giving a little bit of background information on myself. I'm from Texas and graduated with my bachelor's from Texas A&M University. I also have my master's in public health from Emory University. And after I got my master's, I worked at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for about 4 years doing disease prevention work. I love to read, I like being outdoors, and I love animals. Um, the dog in two of the photos on the left and right is my 10-year-old dog named Lucy, who is just my love. So this is a little bit about me. This school year, we are covering 8 different Earth science units. We're going to start with the solar system and the universe, and the Earth and the Moon during quarter 1. In quarter 2, we're going to cover climate and weather and water on Earth. In quarter 3, we're going to cover the dynamic Earth and rocks and minerals. And we're going to end the year off in the last quarter talking about weathering, erosion and soil, and energy and conservation. Now let's go over grading and class expectations. Grading percentages for this Earth Science class are going to be in 4 different chunks. 40% of the overall grade will be in major assessments, which includes end of unit tests. Another 40% of the overall grade is in minor assessments, which are assessments designed to give students feedback and preparation for major assessments. This can include quizzes and in-class work. 10% of the overall grade will include labs and projects. This is a very hands-on class, so we're hoping to incorporate a lot of labs and projects this school year. And then STEM journals, which is 10% of the overall grade. In terms of late policy, late work will receive a 10% deduction and must be submitted before the unit test. It's important to note that any missing work after the unit test will remain a 0 in the grade book. So it's important if your student misses something that needs to be turned in to let them know that they should still turn it in and receive the 10% deduction because it's that or a 0 in the grade book if the end of unit test passes. Students who are absent have 1 day per day's absence to make up and do the work for excused absences. It's a student's responsibility to check CTLS, my CTLS digital classroom for missed assignments and assessments. I will show you in the next couple of slides how to check that. I am going to utilize the CTLS calendar feature for my class. Work for an unexcused absence is due the day of return before the late policy is in effect. A student may be eligible for grade recovery only on major assessments. Again, major assessments are the end of unit tests. The only thing is that the student has to meet the following criteria. So all 3 of these. 1, the student must have all previous unit work completed. If they don't have the work completed and they have a 0 in the grade book, they're unable to recover that major assessment grade. Second, the original score has to be less than 80% and the maximum recovery grade is 80%. So let's say they get 70. If they recover the major assessment or end of unit test grade, the highest they can make is an 80%. And then students must meet with me for remediation prior to the retest. I'm available most days before school, and I'm going to go over that in another slide. For supplies, I am looking for a folder to put any papers handed out in class. Most work will be posted online in the OneNote or in the Office 365. I also am looking for a pencil pouch that contains supplies to be used in all classes. This can be glue sticks, pencils, highlighters, colored pencils, and a sharpened pencil. And then headphones to connect to their laptop. This is required. There will be times where we will be doing in-class work and they might watch a video, so it's important that they have some kind of headphone to use, and it can be any kind. And then finally, a spiral or composition notebook for our interactive science notebook. Let's talk about gradebook notifications. Work that's missing will be entered as a 0 until it's completed. The M is the code we use that automatically enters the 0, M meaning missing. If the work is incomplete, I will grade what has been completed and enter the score earned. For example, if they did 2 out of the 10 problems, 20% will be entered. I'll also use the code I to indicate the work was incomplete. Missing and incomplete work should be completed before the unit test for an updated gradebook notification. Please notify me when the work has been completed, and we will get that into the gradebook so it will reflect the turned in work. Now I'm going to review how to find work that we completed in class that day. Maybe you just want to know what your student learned, or maybe um, there's a planned absence that's coming up, whether that's an appointment, or let's say your student is sick and can't come to school but doesn't want to be left behind, so wants to see what work we're doing in class that day. What you can do is log into CTLS, and on the left-hand side under My Classrooms, click on Calendar. You can click on the day that you missed or are planning to miss, and there will be a notification from myself talking about what we covered in class that day. If there is a document that we filled out or we did classwork, I will also insert a link to that on the calendar invite. This is an example of what a notification will look like. It will tell you what we did that day, what day it was, and then if any information about the assignment. If your student has more questions, they can absolutely email me. Email is your friend, and I will be able to point them in the right direction. This year, we will be using an interactive notebook in science class. I ask that your student brings a notebook. It can be a composition or a spiral notebook. All work that we do in class will be printed and then either glued, taped, or stapled into our notebook. And so at the end of the year, they'll have an organized notebook that covers everything, all the units that we did during that year. Our textbook for Earth Science is digital. It can be found through Clever. You can log into CTLS, click the Clever icon, and then go into the ED portal, which is where the textbook has been assigned to them. We also have a class set, so if they forget their laptop one day, they can use the class set if we are doing textbook work. I am available if your child needs help. I'm here most mornings pretty early, and your child can send me an email through their Microsoft Outlook account to request help. Please make sure that I confirm I'm available before coming in early. The building opens for students at 8:15 to come in for intramurals, media center, or teacher help. Teachers will write their name on the whiteboard just inside the theater if they're available that day to meet with students. Then the students will be permitted to go to that teacher's room at that time. So again, please email me, let me know that they're planning on coming. I will confirm, and then I can give them the help that they need. Let's cover the pink behavior slips. Students will receive a warning for teacher managed behavior, such as being off task, talking, being late to class, etc. After a warning, students will receive a pink reflection form to fill out. I'll also call home to discuss the behavior. About every 4.5 weeks, students that do not have any missing assignments, D's or F's, or have not received pink slips or office referrals can participate in the Roar Rally, which is free time during 6th period. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm available through email or through the CTLS parent portal. I check regularly and will get back to you as soon as possible. If you'd rather have a phone call or meet in person for a conference, I'm available Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 2:30 to 4:15 or before school.